June 24th, 2023, he said, I have a problem, lol. Can I get one last bump? I'm here in Newport Beach, and I see victim A walking his dog. I'm just gonna go up to him and talk to him and ask how I can get in touch with you since you're not responding. Please call me back immediately.
Oh my god!
銀行口座どうやって紐付けたみたいな書いてある。
In the affidavit, it says in about 2018. I mean, this is not mine, by the way. I was watching several news outlets.
こんにちは、藤です。
アナです。
Or this.
アロンです。
今緊急で動画回しております。
Oh no! What could have happened?
今日話したいテーマとしては、大谷翔平選手の元通訳水原一平さんの事件についてちょっと今日お話したいなと思ってて、
はい、いろいろあったよね。
Big news, big scandal.
Yeah.
ちょっとね、いつもと違うテイストの動画に今日はねしようと思ってるんだけど、今日は4月13日ね、今、日本時間は4月12日からで、アメリカは多分4月11日にアメリカのロサンゼルスの連邦地検が大谷翔平選手の元通訳の水原一平さんを訴追したって発表したんだよね。
Oh, yep.
違法賭博水原一平さんが、してて、そのお金を返すために大谷選手の、口座からいろいろお金を出してたっていう話が、ありましたというところで、今日はこの大事件が起こってるのはアメリカだから、いろいろねアメリカ人のバイロンに調べてきてもらって、実際僕ね分かんないことがたくさんあるの。例えばスポーツベッティングって何から分かんないし、アメリカ人ってこの事件についてどう思ってるのとか、ロサンゼルスの連邦地検から起訴状がねめちゃくちゃ長いやつね、英語でババババババって発表されたんだけど、ちょっと英語長すぎて読めないからでそれを今日バイロンに見てもらってちょっとサマライズしてこういうことが書いてあったよみたいな、アメリカ人からの視点で海外からの視点っていうところでみんなと話をしていきたいと思います。
はい。
Here we go.
ちょっと初めてこういう動画撮るから温度感ねちょっと調整しながらいこうと思いますけど。
We'll do our best. This is our first time doing this kind of thing, and usually we do have certain personalities that we like to portray on camera, but due to the severity of this incident, we'd like to tune it down a notch.
Yeah.
Right, y'all?
Sounds about
Okay.
right,
はい、それでは話していきましょう。
Alright, so let's start off with who Ippei is. Okay.
Who's Ippei? Yeah.
Ippei is Shohei Ohtani's ex-translator. An interpreter.
通訳する人よね。
Yeah. So him and Ohtani go way back, right? When he was still doing Katsudo in Japan for baseball. And he was interpreting for a really, really long time. So their bonds are pretty close. And Shohei trusts this guy. But Ippei has a gambling addiction. He has
What kind of gambling addiction?
He has a sports gambling addiction, right? And he didn't bet on baseball, but he would bet on different sports. Ippei would bet, but not with his own money. He would use Ohtani's money from his own bank account without Shohei Ohtani knowing about this, right? And that equaled to over, let's see, the wagers equated to 19,000 wagers between December 2021 and January 2024, 25 bets per day on average, for the value of $10,000 to $160,000 per bet, with the total winning bets equating to $142,256,769.74, and losing bets $182,935,206.68, right? With a negative loss of over $40 million.
Wow.
Right. So he's at a loss of $40 million. He did win 142, but he is losing a total.
He lost 182.
Yeah, he lost 182 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the charge that he's being accused of? Like, what's the official charge? Is it?
So the offense is called, written on the official affidavit, bank fraud.
バンクフラッド。
Bank fraud.
フラッドが、
銀行詐欺 or
そうだ
something
ね、
like
詐
that.
欺で銀行を使って、は
Yeah.
あ、なるほどね。
So I guess like not only was he taking money from Ohtani, but he was impersonating Ohtani. Is that what?
Correct. He was also impersonating Ohtani. You know, when banks call to confirm your information, it's like, Fuji-san desu ka? Fuji desu. You know.
だからその本当は大谷じゃないのに大谷の口座をその嘘ついて使ってたってこと。
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And on his accounts, it wasn't only the phone. He would use an email provided by Ippei.
うわすごい。
And also the devices were connected to his personal account, Ippei's personal account, and also Ohtani's personal account. He was using the same device for both accounts.
Oh, that's sneaky.
So, what's it called? The bank didn't even have to confirm his information sometimes when he was taking money away, right? They just like,
the same device, right?
Right. It's like, it's the device that Shohei Ohtani registered with. Therefore, it is him. But no. When they went to America for the first time, Ippei opened the account for Ohtani-san. For all the MLB earnings to go into that account. And Ippei was in charge of that, right? And so Shohei just didn't know that all this money was going somewhere else.
So Ippei, it's not like his only job was interpreter / friend. He was like kind of like his manager in some sense, right? He was
Yeah.
一平さんはいくらくらいその使ったって言われてるの？
So it says in the affidavit between November 21 and January 24, more than $16 million was transferred via wire from a checking account belonging to Ohtani-san. Yeah.
So 60 million from Ohtani's account.
Correct.
Going
$16 million going out. And so that gave the authorities probable cause to search on if there was suspicious activity going on. Because 16 million is used like out of the blue, right? Like why is 16 million being used?
That's an abnormal activity to see on the bank account statement.
Right.
だいたい24億5000万くらいを大谷選手の口座からその胴元に送ってるっていうのがまず問題で今これになってるよね。
Right. Yeah.
でなんか最初の方に喋ってくれたけど実際にかけたお金とかはもっとでかいんだね。
Yes. Yes.
いくらくらいかけたんだって。
According to my notes in the affidavit, it doesn't say how much he bet. It only shows different bets ranging from 10 to 160,000 per bet. But he won $142 million, 256,769.74.
桁がもう一個増えるってこと？
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came up, but
うんうん。
he lost 182 million, approximately 183. So he's in the red. He's akaji in about $40 million.
水原一平さんは大谷選手のお金を勝手に使ってしかもめちゃくちゃ負けてるっていうのが今の現状ね。
Right.
大体の事件のことは教えてもらったんだけど、なんか日本人として分かんないのがスポーツベッティングっていうのが何っていうなんかお金をかけるのスポーツに。
Yeah, I mean, in simplest terms, sports betting, right? You can bet on the losing or winning team, and usually they'll double your payout, right? There's very specific things that you can bet on. You can bet on players, right? And there's several websites that offer, like, let's say, in basketball, the center, right? Usually the tallest person on the team, they get all the rebounds, right? And so on the website, let's say that on the website it says they need at least 13 rebounds for you to win money, right? And so if they get 13 rebounds in the whole game and you bet like over, let's say they get 14 rebounds, you get a payout, right? Or you can bet under, right? And you can do it for like up to 4 or 5 different players, and depending on how many hits you get like a ×4 payout or a ×8 payout. So the more risky you are with your bets, higher risk, higher reward.
なるほどね。そういうサイトがあるよね多分。
There's several websites on that.
サイトがあって試合の勝ち負けだけじゃなくて、まあさっきのバスケットボールの例で言ったら何回リバウンド取るかみたいな細かくなんかあるんだ。
Yeah.
かける項目が。
And like when it comes to like MMA or boxing, it's like this guy wins under a certain amount of time or something like that, or like
Right.
within like 3 rounds or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
there's conditions and stuff. Like
Muhammad Ali knockout first round, bet $100,000.
それ
Boom.
アメリカでは普通に合法でやってんの？
And only in certain states. Only in certain states it's legal to do it. So it's illegal to do it in the state of California, which is the subject at hand, which is why, this has become what I need not done, right?
確かにニュースの最初の方はなんかスポーツベッティングがカリフォルニアでやるのは違法だって知らなかったんだっ だからそこが問題なんだみたいになってたね。
Right, right.
そう
It's illegal.
でも最近ニュースがまた新しく更新されて、いやいや実はお金を勝手に盗んでやってたんだみたいなのが出てきたからめっちゃびっくりする。
Right,
はあ
right, right. Like if he went to Nevada, no problem. We wouldn't even have this conversation.
いや多分ダメだろう。
Well, it's like not even. It's like I feel like this is like a twofold issue, right? It's like not only is he doing sports betting illegally in California, but he's also stealing money from Ohtani, right?
Correct.
But like if this was in Nevada, he would just be charged with the stealing.
Correct.
As if that makes it better, but
スポーツベッティングはいろんなスポーツでできるってこと？
Yeah, you can bet on tennis, baseball, all the sports
Amazing, yeah.
have something. No, you can even bet on, and it is sports now, esports.
Oh.
You can bet on League of Legends players. You can
Really?
bet on Valorant players. Yeah, if they
wow.
go up 32. Oh, CSGO.
Oh, actually.
CSGO. It's like, oh, this guy's going to get 32 kills in all the rounds. And so you're just watching CSGO. And you're like, come on, get the kill.
アメリカすごいな。
Yeah, you can bet on a lot of different things.
一平さんはそれで野球にはかけてなかったね。
No, he did not bet on baseball.
これで野球にかけてたらもっと問題になってたよね。
Yes.
きっとね。
Yeah, that would be really bad.
いくら通訳って言っても、その大谷さんの隣にいる人が、なんか大谷さんのことをなんかこう細工してさ、打てなくしたりとかして、そのお金をバンってもらうみたいなことがあり得るから。
But it's like, okay, I'm going to bet $16 million, and I'm not going to bet on baseball. That will relinquish me of my sins. Come on, dude. What are you doing, dude? You think that? Well, I mean, obviously, like he's not, adding oil to the fire, but still, it doesn't really because you're stealing money
yeah,
from this person who's close to
確か
you.
にそこの真面目さがね。
Yeah, what the heck? That's so Japanese. I would say that is very Japanese.
いやいや、まあそう。うん
Yeah.
これアメリカではさ、どのくらい話題になってるの？
Well, that's what you got to think about. You got to think about how many people watch baseball in the United States of America.
it is
Right?
America's pastime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How many people wear like New York Yankee hats without being like a baseball rep, right? Baseball is one of the most watched sports inside of the United States. And Ohtani Shohei, not only do Japanese people love him, Americans love him too.
Yeah.
He's like the talk of the town. When he got married, you best believe that it was the talk of the town in the United States too.
It is showtime after all.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also big drama for the person who's under the limelight so much inside of the States.
Especially like because he secured like the biggest sports contract in all of sports history.
Yeah.
What, $700 million over 10 years? That's the biggest sports contract ever.
Man.
Right?
History,
Yeah, in all of sports history, it's the biggest one, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And I think for this news to come out after that, just makes, at first, I think it made Shohei Ohtani seem kind of like slimy. It's like, oh, like, we thought Shohei Ohtani was so deserving of the MVP award 2 times. And, he won the WBC for Japan, basically. Everyone loves Shohei Ohtani, but then this news comes out, it's like, oh, wait, maybe he's actually a bit of a sleazy kind of guy.
Correct.
Right? People weren't really sure how to think about Shohei Ohtani. And there was also like conflicting things that they were saying in response to it, like in the media. They'd be like, oh, I lent him money or something like that. Well, we know about this exchange kind of thing. And then afterwards, he was like, oh no, he actually stole from me. So like this story changed several times through this whole
Yeah.
アメリカ人は結構な人がみんなやっぱ知ってるんだ、このことについて。
Oh, yes.
多分日本でもね、そういう意見がツイッターとかでちょいちょいあったのよ。大谷翔平さんが本当はやってたけど、スポーツベッティング。でもそれを一平さんがなんかかばってるんじゃないかみたいな。
Yeah. He got scapegoated.
だから
Exactly.
それと同じような意見はアメリカでもあったん
You're
よ。
right.
I think so, yeah.
今回のさ、その基礎上あるじゃん、めっちゃ長いやつ。
Yeah.
あれに書いてあるのは、メールのやり取りとかが全部載ってる。
Yes. Between the bookkeeper and Ippei.
Where basically Ippei admitted, like, I'm not very good at this. Can you raise my allowance so I can continue to place more bets kind of thing?
He also admitted to guilt, like, oh, it's all my fault. It's all over for me.
Yeah.
負けたのは自分のせいですよ。
Yeah. He's like, technically, I did steal from him. It's all over for me, end quote. Yeah. Don't text that, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
基礎上に書いてあったなんか話もうちょっと教えてもらってもいい？
Okay, there's a bunch of yaritori going on between Mizuhara and the bookmaker, right? And so a lot of it is like, F word, I lost it all. can you ask Bookmaker 1 if he can bump me 50,000 USD? So that would be my last one for a while if I lose it, right? So he has this limit on how much he can bet, right? And let's say it's at $100,000 limit. So they only allow you to bet $100,000.
あ、そうか。無限にかけられるわけじゃないの。
No. Yeah. And that goes for a lot of sports betting websites, by the way. But in the case of illegal betting, right? Like they want to get to launder money from you. So it's just there as a rule to protect the bettors, right? To make them feel safe that they're betting within a limit, that they plan to lose $100,000, but they'll bump you if you ask for it. So he said, "Oh, can you bump me up one more time, please?" So he's like, "Yep, sure. 50,000, 50,000, 50,000." And so the conversations continued until the limit was like $500,000.
Yikes.
It was like around $500,000, yeah, to get bumped. And then what's it called? It's really funny because he's like, "I'm terrible at the sports betting theme. LOL. Can you bump me up again? As you know, you don't have to worry about me not paying because I'm using Ohtani's money."
Yeah.
Yeah.
全部言ってるのそれ。
Yeah.
すごい。
Well, he didn't say I'm using Ohtani's money. I added that. But he's like, can you bump me up again? I'm terrible at sports betting.
ああ、なるほどね。
But you don't have to worry about me not paying. End quote. Then joke added by me. I'm using Shohei Ohtani's money. June 24th, 2023, he said, "I have a problem, LOL. Can I get one last bump?" And then he said, "This one is for real. Last one for real." And then Bookmaker says, "Done. I have the same problem. To be honest with you, Ippy." He says,
一匹
Yeah,
待
Ippy.
って、その、
He said, Ippy.
ブックメーカーの人と一匹って呼び合うの
Yeah, he got a little
Oh.
adana for him.
Oh.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Itby, as long as you can guarantee the 500 every Monday, I'll give you as much as you want because I know you're good for it. Again, I just have to clean it up with my partner, and that's one reason I was asking before, right? That's June 24th, 2023. And then months pass, and it says on November 17, 2023, Bookmaker 1 messages Mizuhara saying, "Hey, Itby, it's 2 o'clock on Friday. I don't know why you're not returning my calls. I'm here in Newport Beach, and I see victim A, not stated in the affidavit, but it is Shohei Ohtani, walking his dog. I'm just going to go up to him and talk to him and ask how I can get in touch with you since you're not responding. Please call me back immediately."
Oh my god.
This guy, dude, he just said, "Oh, I see Ohtani over there. Like, I'm just gonna ask him why you haven't returned all this money that you owe me."
脅されてるんだね。もう
Yeah, バレたよ。
ブックメーカーの人も一平さんのことも分かっててよね、この人が水原一平さんだで大谷翔平のその通訳やってるのも知ってるし、大谷翔平のお金を使ってるのも分かってたよね。
Right.
だから言うよって言ってるんだもんね。
Yes, and Shohei probably was like,
すごいな。
Yep.
バンプっていうのはかけられるお金を増やせるかってこと？
Yes.
はあ。
Like how much you can bet, your limit. You know how bank accounts
そうかそうか。
have like a 200, like a 20K limit, right? That you can spend at once, right? It's different for betting.
It's
It's
like,
higher.
I think like a credit card, basically.
なるほどね。
Yeah.
だからお金を口座に入れてなくても使えるのか。
Yeah.
今使えるお金を全部使って負けてたら、でももうちょっと追加してここで勝てたらこれ返せるかもしれないってことだよね。
Yeah.
お金がなくてもね。はあ、よくない考えよそれは。これを一平さんとずっとやり取りしてるんだね。普通なの？ブックメーカーの人とそんなやり取りするって。
Well, I mean, yeah, if they're going to take care of your bets for you and it's illegal to do, then you're going to go through another guy, right? Like you can do it on a website, but then someone's going to find out easily. So it's better to have a middleman do it for you so that it's more under wraps,
Yeah.
right?
だよ
There's no record of it.
Do you know what's happening to the bookmaker then? Ippei is getting charged with bank fraud and illegal sports betting, but the bookmaker himself is obviously doing something illegal too. So is he being roped into any sort of charge at all?
I feel like he's going to get roped in because it's illegal to bet in the state of California. So nothing
Right,
has
that would
come
make sense, right? Yeah.
out with what charges he's facing yet, but I'm sure that he's going to get what's coming to him as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? Not as bad as Ipe is doing, right? Since that's fraud.
Yeah.
But for the sports betting aspect, I'm sure there is a penalty of some charge.
Sure.
銀行口座どうやって紐付けたかみたいなの書いてある。
In the affidavit, it says in about 2018, Mizuhara accompanied victim A, Ohtani, to Bank A branch in Arizona to assist victim A in the opening of the account and translated for victim A when setting up the account details, right? And so all the money that Shohei was making from the MLB would be deposited in this sole account. So none of his endorsements, anything other than MLB funds inside of the account, right? Between October 2021 and February 18, 2024, the bank call logs identified multiple calls received from a telephone number ending in a certain number regarding the account of Shohei and Mizuhara's account. And the same telephone number was assigned to Mizuhara's account and Ohtani's account. The same number. It wasn't Shohei Ohtani's account. He signed up with his own number, right?
All the calls for Otani's account went to Mizuhara's phone.
Yes. Ah, Ohtani desu. But I'm Ipe.
すごい。
Yikes.
めちゃくちゃじゃあもう計画的じゃないなんか。
Right, he really set it up,
Right.
right?
He did.
その頃からもうお金使おうって思ってた
He
じゃないと
did.
やんないよ
He did. He did. He knew he was going to do that from the beginning. I mean, that's what the evidence says, right? And then also, right, it says Bank A maintains login information for devices which access Bank A accounts through the internet. Between 2018 and October 27, 2021, there was no online access activity. However, 1 month after Mizuhara was granted access to Bookmaker's gambling website, the account was accessed through the internet for the first time since 2018. So it wasn't accessed at all until he wanted to sports bet. So nobody touched the account of anything at all until Mizuhara wanted to bet money.
Wow.
ちょっと
Yeah,
No wonder he didn't check it.
right.
Because like there was nothing to check
Right, because
in his perspective.
Right, right.
Oh.
Yeah, because the
Right.
only thing that's happening is some money's
Yeah,
coming in,
right.
That's it.
Well, also, so the bank, anytime that anybody wants to access the bank account through the internet, is assigned a unique identification number by Bank's A systems called a device ID, right? You know how Google yells at you every time that you sign in from a different device? Like, is this you? Is this you? IP address not 192.244.741 from access from Tokyo, Japan. Is this you? And it freaks out on you. And then you click, oh, yes, it's me. And then it calms down. That's basically what happens for the device ID. And all the devices used were under...
Oh my god.
やば一平さんは大谷選手の口座使ってお金バーンってかけてで勝ったら戻ってくるし負けたら減るしみたいな感じでやってた
Well, it wouldn't go into Shohei's account. It wouldn't go into Shohei's account. He would get the money from the account and then bet it. And then you know where that money went? Where all of that winning and losing was going? His account.
Ipe's account.
His account. His account, dude.
Yeah,
So Shohei didn't see any of that.
それはもう泥棒よね
Yeah.
てかかけずにそのままお金盗んどく方がまだプラスだったよねそれね
Oh my
Well,
goodness. It's crazy because, well, Bank A, or the bank that was mentioned in here, was on to him because I think he called about, he wanted to wire funds to the bookmaker for a car loan. Car loan, right? That's why he said he needed like a taikin because he needed to pay off his loan for a car. And then the bank froze online transactions, right? But then on another call on the same day, a different employee spoke to Ipe, right? With the same number, well, Ipe's phone. And then he called regarding the online suspension. And then Ipe said, oh no, Shohei desu, Ohtani desu. And so they unfroze his account and lifted the suspension so that he could wire transfer himself again.
But isn't like the bank like negligent for this? Because like I read in the LA Times article that like, you know, Mizuhara, he born in Japan, but he grew up mostly in the States, went to school in California. And so he speaks fluent English. And then something that the LA Times noted is that Ohtani can speak English, but he's not fluent. He doesn't have a pure American accent like Mizuhara does. And so the bank, when they opened this account for these for Shohei Ohtani, they should have realized the guy's interpreting for him. He's like telling him what's being said in Japanese, right? Mm-hmm. So clearly they should have noted, okay, Shohei Ohtani can't speak English fluently, or to the degree that Mizuhara does. And so when, quote unquote, Ohtani calls, it's like, hey, this is Ohtani. It's like, clearly not. Clearly this is someone else, right? So like, the bank is clearly negligent in this. It's partly to blame for missing a pretty significant detail with that.
No more tenash.
No.
Ippei also had a backup plan where instead of using the money for sports betting, he used about $325,000 in transactions of eBay to buy and sell baseball cards. You know how baseball cards are worth like a lot of money, like really rare baseball cards?
アメリカでは価値があるんです。
Yes. Ippei was money laundering by trying to buy really expensive baseball cards from eBay. Right, in the amount of $325,000, so that he had a backup plan. If all of this went away and he was caught somehow, he could still have a little cushy $325,000 in baseball cards to sell.
でもそれを買ってるお金はもちろん大谷選手のお金で買ってるんですよね。
Oh yeah, yes sir.
すごいな。
Yes,
He
sir.
really thought about this at a different
Yep. If I can't win in betting, I have my baseball cards that I could sell and go back to Japan and with my cushion and live happily ever after. Signed, Ippei-san.
本当に良かったなって一個思うのは、大谷選手って10年に分けてお金を徐々にもらっていくでしょ。給料、ね。あれしてなかったらもっとひどいことになってたかもしれないよね。
That's true. Oh, were they protecting him? Were they protecting him after all?
それは良かった。はい、ということで今日は大谷選手の元通訳水原一平さんの事件について話してみました。
It's a really sticky situation because like Ohtani, sure he was a victim of fraud, of bank fraud, but like I can imagine he was victimized at an emotional level as well. Because like this person that he trusted so much enough to like, hey, I'll just leave all this bank stuff to you because I trust you. And he got betrayed like that by a person with whom he has a long history too and probably considered him a friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep your enemies closer, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
I obviously like. Of course, whatever Ippei did was a terrible thing. He betrayed his friend, he stole from his friend, he put a lot of people in jeopardy, he committed, several crimes. But I think it would be appropriate to have a little bit of compassion for him because he clearly was suffering from a crippling addiction.
Yeah.
A crippling gambling addiction. And I feel like other addictions, like drug addiction, alcoholism, other addictions people are a lot more willing to accept that as a genuine illness, mental illness, right? But I feel like with gambling addictions, people don't take gambling addiction as seriously. And so I think he should take responsibility for the things that he's done. But I also think it'd be a good idea to recognize that gambling addiction is a genuine problem that people face.
それを気持ちは分かるんですが、日本に比べたら多分アメリカとかね、カナダとかって依存症、アディクションはそれはもう病気だから、その本人のレスポンシビリティもあるけど仕方ないみたいな見方するじゃん。でそれはすごい理解できるよね。なんかその海外の方がそういう気持ちが強いのは分かるんだけど、なんか僕が許せないなって思うのは最初嘘ついてた。チームメイトとか集めて一平さんは俺は実はアディクションなんだみたいなことを言って、で大谷さんが俺のために払ってくれたんだみたいな。そうそう。嘘をついてる。最初一番最初の発表は大谷選手が一平さんのためにお金を払ってくれた。
Right, yeah.
そうそう。で一平さんが嘘ついてたから、もちろんアディクションはそれは一種の病気なんだなとは思うけど、なんかそれとこう嘘ついて人からお金取り続けるっていうのはなんか日本人的な感覚はちょっと違うかなって、そこの2つはね。
It's like you should have compassion for someone with an addiction, but you shouldn't have so much compassion that you let their addiction being an excuse for doing bad stuff.
Of course not. I absolutely agree. I mean, like, he should take responsibility for the things that he has done. But I can imagine that if you have such a horrible monster inside you, this addiction, it's going to drive you to do horrible things, like lie to people, right? So I think, lying and stealing and doing this and is all kind of bound up in the same illness, right? I'm by no means trying to give him a pass. No way. I think he's guilty for sure. But I also think it'd be good to contextualize this crime in the context of an illness, right? I think it'd be good to move forward. What are the lessons can we learn from this story that people should seek help when they run into an issue like this?
Not from your friend's bank account, by the way. Yeah, from an actual professional who knows how to treat this kind of illness.
And I think that the bank should take responsibility for even allowing this to happen. I think people should be more vigilant when it comes to superstars' bank accounts. I would assume that Ohtani has a huge management team around him, right?
Right.
Where are the other people, right?
Yeah.
Because Ohtani, he's a Japanese guy living in America. He probably doesn't know everything that's going on, right? So I feel like he was, being taken advantage of, right? So it's not just like one person taking advantage of one other person. There's multiple parties involved that I feel like they should be. I don't think they should take responsibility in the sense that they should pay money or be, culpable or anything like that.
The thing is, Ohtani has a huge team. Like, he has a financial advisor, he has like a tax advisor, he has a bunch of different like financial professionals on his team. But Ippei was the only one in charge of that account regarding the MLB. So a lot of American opinions, this is not mine, by the way. I was watching several news outlets. If you're gonna live in a different country, please try to speak the language and try to understand everything that is going on around you. And if you leave it into the hands of other people, especially when you're a big superstar, there's going to be people taking advantage of you, people who are close to you. Remember the saying where if you win the lottery, tell no one? Mm-hmm. It's like that. Like, someone is going to want a piece of the pie, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to do your due diligence. You got to learn the language. You got to learn about the systems that are being used in order to protect yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to look at all of these things, or hire somebody to look at all of these things, especially where large amounts of money are going into a singular account. I mean, the guy's a busy guy, right? He probably has his schedule packed to the max with everything that is going on in his life. So maybe this one went through the cracks. But still, right? Like, if you're a big superstar, like, allocate some resources to at least take care of yourself in that regard.
I think it's a Western way of looking at it, because things like frauds or like being taken advantage of are things that happen way more often in like Europe or like Western countries, and it doesn't happen as often in Japan. And maybe that's why Ohtani might not have been as aware as your average American about how common these kind of incidents might be.
Yeah, right. So that's what the West. I'm not saying that it's my opinion. It's just the news outlets that I have absorbed, and I am rehashing what the general opinion of the West is.
今日はね、初めてニュースについて話してみましたが、皆さんいかがだったでしょうか。もしね、他に要望があれば、海外で起こっている日本関連のニュースとかお届けしたいと思いますので、コメント欄に感想を書いてください。それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。
バイバイ。
チャンネル
登録
お願いします。